East of the Roman Forum in the heart of Rome, Italy, lies an oval amphitheater known as the Colosseum. Despite its antiquity, it is still the biggest amphitheater in existence today and the biggest ancient amphitheater ever constructed. Vespasian the Great ordered construction in 72 and Titus, his son and heir, finished it out in 80 AD. During Domitian's rule, more adjustments were made. The amphitheater was given the Flavian Amphitheater name by subsequent classicists and archaeologists because it is associated with the Flavian dynasty, the three emperors who sponsored the building. Travertine limestone, tuff, and brick-faced concrete are used in the construction of the Colosseum. Throughout its lifespan, it could accommodate between 50,000 and 80,000 spectators, with an average crowd of about 65,000. It was used for public spectacles including as animal hunts, executions, recreations of great wars, plays based on Roman mythology, and briefly simulated naval battles in addition to gladiatorial combat. In the early medieval period, the structure stopped being utilized for entertainment. Later, it was utilized for things like dwellings, workshops, religious order apartments, a castle, a quarry, and a Christian shrine. The location was a level place at the bottom of a small valley that stretched between the Celian, Esquiline, and Palatine hills and was home to a canalized stream and an artificial lake or marsh. The region had a high population by the 2nd century BC. It was destroyed by the Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD, and Nero took control of most of the region to expand his own dominion. On the spot, he constructed the opulent Domus Aurea, around which he built a man-made lake, pavilions, gardens, and porticos. The massive bronze Colossus of Nero was erected close by at the entrance to the Domus Aurea, and the already existing Aqua Claudia aqueduct was expanded to bring water to the region. The Colossus was saved, although the Domus Aurea was mostly destroyed. The site was utilized to build the rebuilt Flavian Amphitheater once the lake was filled in. Nearby, on the site of the Domus Aurea, were built gladiatorial schools and other auxiliary structures. It is possible to interpret Vespasian's choice to construct the Colosseum on the site of Nero's lake as a populist gesture of reclaiming for the people a part of the city that Nero had taken for his own purposes. The Colosseum was built in the city center, effectively putting it both figuratively and physically at the center of Rome. The wooden top floors of the Colosseum's interior were completely destroyed by a large fire in 217 that severely damaged the structure. According to Dio Cassius, the fire was started by lightning. It wasn't completely fixed until around 240, and then it needed more work in 250 or 252, and again in 320. In 399 and again in 404, Honorius outlawed the practice of gladiatorial combat. The last time gladiatorial combat is described is around 435. An inscription describes the Colosseum's reconstruction in several areas during the reigns of Theodosius II and Valentinian III, probably to repair harm from a significant earthquake in 443. More work was done in 484 and 508 after that. Even until the 6th century, the arena was still being utilized for competitions. The Colosseum is a completely freestanding edifice, in contrast to Roman theaters that were carved into hillsides. Its fundamental external and internal architecture is modeled by that of two theaters placed side by side. Its base area is 24,000 square meters, and it has an oval plan that measures 189 meters long by 156 meters. The outside wall is 48 meters tall. 545 meters were the initial perimeter measurements. A 5 meters 15 feet high wall surrounds the oval-shaped core arena, which is 87 meters long and 55 meters broad and has layers of seats rising above it. Over 100,000 cubic meters of travertine stone, laid without cement and joined by 300 tons of iron clamps, are said to have been needed for the exterior wall. However, it has sustained significant damage over the years, with significant sections collapsing after earthquakes. The characteristic triangular brick wedges at either end of the remaining north side of the perimeter wall are new additions that were built in the early 19th century to strengthen the wall. The original inside wall makes up the remaining portion of the Colosseum's facade today. The Colosseum could hold 87,000 people, according to the Codex calendar of 354, while current estimates place the number closer to 50,000. They were arranged in tiers to represent the severe stratification of Roman society. The emperor and the Vestal Virgins each had their own boxes at the north and south ends, offering the greatest perspectives of the arena. A large pedestal or platform for the senatorial class, who were permitted to bring their own seats, flanked them at the same level. Some of the senators from the 5th century still have their names etched into the masonry, perhaps designating specific spaces for their usage. Gladiatorial competitions as well as a variety of other events were held in the Colosseum. The performances, known as munera, were never provided by the government but by private parties. They were extremely well liked by the populace, had a significant religious component, and served as displays of family grandeur and authority. The animal hunt, or venatio, was a different kind of well-liked spectacle. This made use of a wide range of exotic animals, mostly from Africa and the Middle East, including ostriches, giraffes, aurochs, bears, crocodiles, bears, Barbary lions, panthers, leopards, bears, Caspian tigers, and rhinoceroses. Intricate sets with movable trees and buildings were frequently used to stage battles and hunts. Nearly 1.7 million people visited the Colosseum in 2021, making it one of the most well-liked tourist destinations in Italy. While this number rose from 1.1 million in 2020, it was still much lower than levels prior to the epidemic.